Hey, good evening, everybody. Matt and Sarah, hello. And Kiri, thank you guys for being here. Right when I start. How are all of you doing? Just as you finished my turmeric and ginger, the sky opened up. Oh, wow. That is some nice rain. Excellent rain. It's been, I don't know, 2 weeks now, maybe, since we had any rain. I think, I don't know, I didn't mark it on my calendar. And we're supposed to get like 3 or 4 days of rain at the end of this week. So we're excited, right, Matt and Sarah? Oh, I know, I'm excited about it. Hey, Julie, hello. Welcome, welcome. 3 of my very faithful people here. You guys are awesome. So what have you all been up to this last week? Did you do anything unusual, special? I know some of you, oh, there you are, Dave, hello. Yep, 4 of my favorites. And Alicia, well, Alicia, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I don't know if happy birthdays, if the song is public domain or not, but Mother Earth Garden Club, hello, welcome. Welcome to my Monday night special. Oh, definitely, Alicia, absolutely. You know, as you very well know, stress and heat and all of this stuff it all compounds. And so I hear you. Connie, hello, welcome. Thanks to you. You know, you could change your name, every week. And because you say hugs to everybody, it's still know it's you. So it's just so sweet. Grammy Karen, hello. You're on your phone, so we'll have a hard time. Oh, I hear you. Well, thank you for being in here. You made zucchini pickles and pickled peppers yesterday. Awesome. Oh, so wonderful. That is so great. I started picking a few more things from the garden, and I'll show you guys in a little bit. It's only 3 minutes after, so I want to wait for a few more people to come in. Oh, look at you, Carrie. A chat party. There you go. Yes, I agree. Matt and Sarah. So is it Matt or Sarah or both this time? Is the family there? Are the kids there? I haven't heard from them for a while. I know summer is a hard time because they're all outside running around and busy with things. But so yeah, it's definitely hard on the phone. Absolutely. So so Kiri sent you ice cream and big lollipop and streamers, noisemakers, balloons, and a gift. How about that? So you had to do something. The neighbors are trying to hide when you came to That is funny. That's funny, Mother Earth. Oh my goodness, that's great. I know, it's like, no more zucchini, please stay away. Oh, my poor zucchini plant. I actually planted like 3 of them. And they looked like they were doing so well at the beginning of the season, but I have one small zucchini on there that's not growing anywhere. And it's just like, so definitely doing something different next year. That's for sure. You're an eggplant overload. Oh, have you found any recipes for canning eggplant, Dave? And things that you could do with that? Like have it all canned and cooked and then just like fry it up or something, fry it when you take it out of the jar or something. I'm just wondering. Alicia, that's great. Virtual fat-free, sugar-free treats. Exactly. You have a 12-foot row of zucchini. Oh, nice. That would produce a lot. Absolutely. Yeah, because if you can, I think that you could parboil them, blanch them, and bread them, and then flash freeze them, and have them in, coat them, season them, whatever you do, and then bag them and put them in the freezer. I think. I'm not sure. But I actually had some eggplant seeds this year to try out, and I didn't have a place to put them this year. So 3-foot cucuzzi squash. Oh, talk to Heaven's Essentials about your cucuzzi. That's one of her favorites, and she can give you all kinds of recipes. Julie's a great cook, so yeah. Maybe you could can baba ganoush. I don't know what that is. Enlighten me. There are a lot of things that I get into, like gourmet cooking. I don't really know what it is, and that might not even be gourmet. But yeah, and I mean, I haven't had eggplant for quite a few years, and the last time somebody else had made it, and I think it was eggplant parmesan, but it's a Lebanese eggplant dish. Okay. Well, I know that you like to try all kinds of different things, Dave, so that's awesome. You were looking up recipes. You need to find one that doesn't use butter. For canning or for freezing or cooking, just cooking things, use there are a lot of different oils that are really good. You could use almond oil. Avocado oil is excellent. You could there's so many different oils you could use too. You just just found a source. Awesome. So Julie says, when the cucuzzi gets super long, they start going stiff, and they hollow out because they are an edible gourd. Oh, okay. So what is, Julie, kind of the maximum length you want to allow it to get? Like 12 inches, 15 inches, something like that, or whatever. So tomatoes, spices, eggplant, all simmered down, served with tahini. Oh. You could can that and then just serve it with the tahini. Unless you've already done that. I don't know. But yeah, definitely. If you have tomatoes coming in the garden too, along with the eggplant, definitely. You can't use most oils either. Okay. All right. Hey, Country Homestead Preacher, how are you doing? Like no more than 2 feet. Okay. So there you go, Connie. 2 feet. Yeah, for eating. Well, like Julie said, it can be an edible gourd, but then it starts to hollow out. So your cucuzzi. Mother Earth tahini is it's kind of an essential ingredient in making hummus. You use the chickpeas and everything, but then you have to add this tahini. And Dave, I'm not sure exactly what tahini is made from, how it's made, but all I know is you buy it in a jar and it gets added to ground up chickpeas for hummus. I've got that part down. Sesame. Okay, there we go. Okay. So it's like the consistency of a thin peanut butter, kind of, in a way, but it's sesame. Okay. So tahini, I wonder if it's like sesame butter. Well, this is really fun. It's kind of fun when you start the chat with food here, right? Deb, hello. Hot, smoky, still dry. Yeah, we're really dry here. Even though we had a couple good rains a couple weeks ago, we've been really dry again. Everything, any grass that was coming back is just kind of like shriveling right up again. And yeah, I've got to be watering every day. But Now that you guys are here and we're talking about food, let me get a drink of water here. They take on any flavor you throw in them. Okay. Some things, if you haven't seen my Instagram post from yesterday, I got my first cherry tomatoes. Woohoo! So there's a couple more out on the plant there that I can start picking, but there are a lot more baby tomatoes out there. But these are done and ready to go. I hate to run my dehydrator just for these few, but so I've got them in the fridge, hoping to hold on to them for just a little bit. Well, thanks, Alicia. We'll get to that. Give a chance for people to get in here. Oh yeah, that's good. We were 90 something today too, and very, very dry and windy. 25 to 30 mile an hour winds, something like that. So yeah, hot, dry, and windy. We under a severe fire watch right now. So oh, Deb, oh, that is close. Oh, yes, absolutely. God did take care of you there. So I had 2 sugar baby watermelons that were ready. I love this size. It's so great. And so I had one that was just a little bit bigger than this, and then this one, and then I've got several more out there on the plant. Some aren't making it, but I think maybe the plants themselves have gotten damaged or something like that. But anyway, so great. And so the best way to tell if it's ripe is that, okay, this is connected to the vine, and then right off of that is like a little curlicue tendril. And when that starts to get brown and dry up, that's when you know this baby is ready. So I wasn't sure how big these are supposed to get. So, just having it white on the bottom, that's not a good indicator. But anyway, I cut up the other one. Look at that. This is just from one sugar baby watermelon. And look at all the seeds. Oh. So yes, I am going to take the seeds out and save them. I know, isn't that fun? I tried watermelon years and years ago, probably close to 25 years ago, and I didn't really know how to grow them. Didn't know that there was probably a better variety than what I had tried. So it was a major fail, and I didn't try it again, figuring that our season was too short. But these are just right within our growing season. So they, let me see, 60, probably 70, 75 days, somewhere in there. And these are all ready to go. So there's some other really cute ones out there too. You never dehydrated tomatoes. You love using your San Marzanos for tomato sandwiches. Yeah, these are cherries, and I'm growing specifically to cut them in half, season them up, dehydrate them, to have them for little tomato snacks. I don't like raw tomatoes, so I will cook them and do them any which way I can. But I've never tried that before, and so I've got 3 different cherry tomato plants. Hopefully, the 2 that I just started from seed in the garden will be able to work. I gotta plug in here. And so, what did you say? You ate your first cantaloupe today? Someone accidentally. I've got quite a few cantaloupe out there in Minnesota midgets, but they're still very green and small yet. So waiting for those to grow a little bit. You ate half a cantaloupe, threw the rind out to the. Who's fun watching goose carry it running? Birds are hilarious, aren't they? Thank you. Hey, Ricky. Hello. People used to float watermelons in tubs of water in the shade to keep them fresh. Great tip, Julie. That is so good. If you have one sugar baby, gets stuck between the narrow space and the arch. Oh, I know. That's so frustrating when something that's going to grow big, a squash or whatever, even tomatoes, that they get stuck in between things. I'm just like, no. Hey, Dave, I know that you've done that before too, and you actually quarter them. So I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see how these work. So hey, Christy, hello. Also great for making tomato powder. Absolutely. And see, I would probably dehydrate the bigger ones, or Roma tomatoes or something, probably for powder. Actually, I would just dehydrate all the skins that I would use for other stuff. So that byproduct is what I would do. You're going to dehydrate most of your cherries. Nice. Very, very good. Awesome. So anyway, yeah, my watermelon. So I've got watermelon. It's so fun. I knew my garden this year was going to be a lot more fresh eating than actually putting up much stuff, because I have so much that's already canned. But like all the basil, I want to make some pestos, and just harvest some herbs and get like these cherry tomatoes done, and eat the cantaloupe and the watermelon fresh. And so anyway, so that's going to be good. You're loving your blueberry cherries and the atomic grape and sunset tomatoes. Nice. So far I've been dehydrating rosemary, basil, sage, and thyme. Awesome. I hear you, Carrie. Yeah, you don't want your butternut squash going to the goats, that's for sure. You know what? There's everybody's got different, so that's all. It's all good. So anyway, we are supposed to, like I said, have some rain coming. I think Wednesday. They're talking about it, Wednesday or Thursday, and our temperatures are going to cool down too. So we'll be down in the 70s, which I'm so excited about. It'll be great. I've also picked some strawberries, and just trying to harvest a few things here. And so anyway, it's working out really, really, really good. So I've got, you're in love with amaranth. Tastes good even in the strange heat Oregon is having. Oh, that's cool. I had remembered what I tried to plant between my tomato plants and my nasturtiums. I had this bare space in there, and I was supposed to, I put in a lot of ashwagandha seeds, and nothing came up. So I think that's when I'm going to have to probably start inside in the spring and try to get it growing. Maybe it just takes too long. And although this spring was tough on seeds in the garden, it was so hot and so dry that anything that, even if it began to germinate, it would just die right away. It would shrivel up and die because it was just so hot. It's so hot and dry. So, I bet it is, Christy. Yes. You know what, Matt and Sarah? I've been wondering that too. There's been a lot of signs here. I mean, we've got trees turning colors already. I know it's because it's been so dry, and I know that affects it too. But the squirrels are doing their things. They're trying to bury nuts all over my yard. Actually was starting to get some Asian beetles in like a week ago, and they don't come until the end of September or beginning of October. And it's like, what the heck? I don't know what's going on here. Oh, you got one of those 8-inch deep by 3-foot across baby swimming pools. Nice. Oh, I bet that's so pretty. Dave, you're trying your first cover crops tomorrow on your tomatoes. Excellent. So Carrie, for you guys too. Okay. Nice. Only a few rutabaga germinated ones are left. Yeah. Oh, that is early. Wild grapes? Yeah, they're not usually ready till September. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. So that is really unusual. So, all right. So everybody knows what water is. I don't have to go there. Right. But the water that we have, it's used for direct purposes and indirect purposes. So kind of our direct purposes include bathing, drinking, cooking, stuff like that. So the indirect purposes would be like using water in processing wood to make paper, or things like that. So, oh, yes, amaranth seeds for, oh, Julie, I know. It's like, oh, dry California. It's hard to find water. Oh, water's been, um, Sean, hello. How are you? So the bulk of the world's water use is actually for agriculture, industry, and electricity. So most common uses include drinking and household needs, recreation, industry and commerce, agriculture, and thermoelectricity for energy. And we have three different kinds of water, really. There's white, gray, and black. White water is also what we call potable water. And it's like potable, so it's potable, and that's how you say it. So that is what comes from our tap, that's already filtered and it's drinkable. So you want to do that. So, oh, Deb, I hear you. We haven't had much here either. In fact, in the last week, for sure, there have been several times that even after watering my garden for 5 minutes with the wand and stuff like that, I run out. My well runs dry. And so there's been a lot more times. And of course, like I said, the farms around here are irrigating, but our aquifers are just low. They're low. We need to get replenished. So I know, Connie, that actually does help. I hear you. The potable water now comprises only a small fraction of the total use of water in the United States. Now, a lot of these things that I'm going to be talking about really do have to do with the states, but I'm sure that you can apply them right to Canada or wherever else you are. So, let me see. So where is all of the water? It says, even though 70% of our planet is covered with water, it's mostly contained in oceans, which is 98% of the water on our planet is in the oceans. So it leaves 2% as fresh water. But where is that all? So, oh, that's great, Dave. That's a nice step. Yeah. I know I really should get a new well and go deeper, but that's beyond my budget at this point. So of the 2% of fresh water that's available on the earth for, what do we have? 4 billion people? Something like that. 1.6% of it is frozen in the polar ice caps. So it leaves 0.4%, 4/10 of the 2% of fresh water. 0.36% is in our aquifers. So, and then that only leaves 0.036%, 0.03% in our lakes, ponds, and rivers as fresh water. So that's, of the scope of everything, that's so little. And then when we don't get enough rain, we're drawing off all that. But so anyway, surface water is the most vulnerable to bacteria contamination. Even the water we enjoy from our lakes and rivers. It must be treated for bacteria. So if you're in a city that's like on a river, and that's where they get most of their city water from, everything goes through water filtration plants, all that kind of stuff. And so you turn on your faucet and you automatically have some nice, fresh, filtered water. However, they do add back in things like fluoride and chlorine and different things like that. So, hey, Dawn, hello, how are you? So anyway, again, potable water is our drinking water. That's our white water. And there's very little of it that is actually there that you can do. So we'll get more into how you can convert some other water into some more drinking water. So we're going to talk about gray water quite a bit here tonight. But gray water is all of the wastewater that drains from your shower, your kitchen, bathroom sinks, your laundry, all that kind of stuff. It has some bacteria in it, but it can be filtered and reused for your gardens or your lawns if you do it properly. Now, black water contains human waste and is unsafe. Never use it for anything else or consume it. It has to go into the septic or the sewer system. So otherwise you have some major issues. You have disease and everything else. That's why when you have third world countries that have open sewer systems and they're just ditches alongside the road between the houses and the roads, and that's where everything goes, even in the towns and everything. That's why they deal with so much disease, and the life expectancy is very low. So, but anyway, so that's black water. So white water, good and great. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can use with that. Now, I did put a bunch of links down below, and there's a whole lot on gray water and everything else. And there's one that I came across that was really great. It's called the Gray Water Guide. And it has in there like all of your local ordinances for wherever you are, and how you can use gray water, if you're able to use gray water, if you can do rain catchment, all that kind of stuff. So I encourage you to check that out so you can see what it is that you can do for where you live. And so that'd be great. So while white water, potable water is pumped into our houses, whether you have a well and it gets filtered through there, or it's on city water, it gets pumped into your home. Then gray water is used and sent back out. So same with black water. Let me see. So gray water, generally not toxic, generally disease-free. The only thing that I would see in there that would be is if you have a homestead or a farm where you're getting manure on your clothes and everything else in just your chores and the different things that you do. And then you throw those clothes into the washing machine, and that there's manure mixed in with the other gray water, then you wouldn't want to use it. So if you have that kind of situation going on, either try to wash them separately, or just not really try to reuse the water. So I'm going to be kind of going through things and how you can actually reuse gray water and what the safe methods are and everything. So one of these links that I put in there, thank you, Julie, very much, the Gray Water Guide. It's called Using Laundry Water in Your Garden. And he's got like a whole schematics and everything of how you set up a specific drainage for the laundry to go right into pipes that went right into his orchard to water his trees. So it's okay to do, water trees and shrubs and stuff like that. They don't recommend you putting gray water right on like vegetables that you'd be eating, like, lettuce and all of your edible garden things in that way, because there still can be some trace toxins there that could be there. You just never know, but you don't want to, taking a chance at E. coli or, Legionella is another one, Giardia or Giardia, I don't know how it's pronounced, hepatitis A, salmonella, all those kind of things that could happen if you end up using, gray water directly on your vegetables, like spraying your peppers and, like I said, your lettuce and carrots and all that kind of stuff. So, thanks, Dave. Giardia. So I was right the first time on that. So yay! And Campylobacter. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or not. But anyway, those are some of the things that you can get in there. So some of the advantages of reclaiming, we call it reclaiming gray water for use and everything, is that it can help lower your water and your sewage bills, because you're reusing that water. You're not watering your lawn with fresh white water. You're not watering your trees. You're just doing things like that. So you're reusing that water, which is a really great thing. So you are taking in less potable water, fresh water and everything, and there's a lot less going into your septic system, which is a plus too. But if you're going to use that, you have to make sure that any nutrients from your soaps, anything like that, can sustain the plant life and recharge your topsoil. So in other words, you want it to contain nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium, the things that we use in our fertilizers, right? So, but if you're going to throw in like Tide and all this other kind of stuff, you can use things that aren't really. Sorry, I shouldn't. Tide. It's just an example. There's a whole bunch of things out there Tide, so don't get me on that one. But that's awesome, Connie. So anyway, there's a lot of things that you can get, a lot of soap products, laundry, dish soap, hand soap, shampoos, all that kind of stuff that you can get that will be friendly to your plants if that's a route that you want to take by using the gray water. So anyway, so but there's always a risk still of some contamination, pollution if you don't do it right. If you do it right, it's a wonderful system. Also be careful that you don't have pets drinking it, and that you don't have children playing in it and stuff like that. So anyway, so gray water, again, has not come in contact with any solid human waste, but it can actually, again, be broken down and safely reabsorbed into active garden or lawn. Some of the other things that you want to be careful, because you'd want some kind of filtration with it and everything like that, because there's still like fats and oils from cooking. There's hair that gets in there, all the different things that get mixed up with the water that go down the drain that we just don't even think about. But if that's something that would be beneficial to you to be reusing your gray water, make sure that you get some kind of a filter on it and different things like that. Yes, use biodegradable soaps and detergents. Let me see. Okay, talks about the soap villains. So what are the things in soap that cause the most problems for your plants? The three prime suspects are sodium, chlorine, and boron. Some of the plants might be harmed right away. You can probably tell, this within a few hours, it just kind of croaks. Hey, Bub, hello. Um, but others are damaged slowly as elements have time to build up in the soil. So if you're intending to use like soapy water in the garden, choose cleaners that don't contain any of those sodium, chlorine, or boron. So you just be really careful. Make sure that they're low phosphates. Hey, Drop. That's so true. It's like, oh, you don't want to harm your lawn or your plants, but it's like, it's okay to put it on your body, right? That's so true. That's very true. So it says, to understand how gray water is absorbed by soil and plants, imagine emptying your backpack on the subway. That pile of stuff is much like gray water. It consists of various items that are useful or useless to the environment you introduce them to. There are certain items that will lie untouched, perhaps your smelly gym clothes or a really boring book. Plants and soil are much like the other train commuters. They're ready to snatch the items they have the most use for and leave the less attractive ones behind. So, plants and soil work hard to break down gray water. So they pass through layers of sand and rock and all that kind of stuff. Dr. Bronner's, oh, that's a good one. Yeah. So larger water contaminants are caught in the grit of the dirt solids. So again, probably if you're going to be using it to water your orchard or something like that, or even just lawn, make sure that part of the filtration process, it goes through sand or charcoal or something like that. And I would, again, check into some of these websites that I put on there, on the links. So as it passes through that, it's kind of like catching things in a colander in a way, that kind of thing. But the dirt itself helps filter out nutrients and biodegradable materials, which then can be absorbed by plants and bacteria. Microorganisms and bacteria in the ground feed off of carbon and pathogens, leaving water, carbon dioxide, and non-polluting insolubles. So they feed off of other stuff. Oh, you guys don't get into too much detail. You'll get me banned from YouTube on here. Oh, so anyway, remember that plant life varies greatly, and some species are unable to deal with the chemicals, the salt or acidity levels in gray water. In many situations, drainage from your kitchen sinks and dishwashers is too contaminated by grease and high acidity to be used at all. So, there are other things you could do, like if you want to, let's just say, only use the water that you use in your bathroom sink. Special soap there, the water that comes through, you're only washing your hands with this particular soap. And what you could actually end up doing is not plumbing the underneath part of the sink to the wall or to the main drainage system, your septic, but put a bucket under there instead, and then just every day empty that bucket out in the yard or something like that. In the winter, it'd be a little bit hard around here to do, but unless you have the ability to reconnect it into the wall and then disconnect it in the summer or something. But that's just an idea. So, hey, Heather, how are you? It says the yard can handle the elements, but it doesn't mean that that we can necessarily. So, It says fruit and nut trees are generally considered safe because of the distance between the ground and the food. So that's why that would work better. Now, don't store it. Your gray water. Do not store it. It says if gray water is collected and stored without treatment, it effectively becomes black water in as little as 24 hours. So, oh, there you go, Christy. But do dump it frequently, every day and everything. So, oh, that's not good. Handy for a dish drainer. There you go. Yeah, you don't have them on top of your counter then. Oh, Heather, we're all here for you. This is a good time to come together and be supported by people, right? So, that laundry to garden water, a couple of things in there. Well, hello, Nathan. Boy, it's been ages since we've seen you here. Oh, goodness sakes. How are you? Hello. Yes, you can, treat it exactly. If you have a certain system, absolutely. So we're good to go there. So some of the things with this, like I said, this particular laundry to orchard drainage system and everything, you can't irrigate areas that are uphill from where you're doing because it's just going to back up and a pump isn't strong enough from like a washing machine. Don't irrigate plants on a slope going down. But you can run the water downhill from the machine to irrigate a flat area below. If you just keep going downhill, it's just going to wash all away and it'll wash away your topsoil and stuff too. So also, don't use this method if you're washing dirty diapers in the washing machine. Again, that creates black water, right? Don't apply the gray water to plantings along streams or on swampy ground. Again, to help avoid any contamination it could go into the stream that somebody else may be using for their drinking water. Exactly. So again, if you're using that in your washing machine, no bleach, borax, or sodium. So to find out if it's legal, that laundry to garden system that I was just talking about, it is legal without a permit in California, Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, and Wyoming. So the others, again, that gray water guide, it's got the local ordinances on there, so check what you've got there. So there are different sources of water. So we've talked about white, gray, and black water, and kind of the percentages of what our water is. But we have what we call surface water. It includes streams, rivers, lakes, reservoirs, and wetlands. So that's the surface water. It's all on the surface, right? And that is, again, a huge portion of what we have. So sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. So anyway, Nathan, it's good to oh, you're homeless. I'm so sorry to hear that. Sorry that your last place just didn't work out for you. You're on the 2 acres you own, free and clear, but there's no utilities or structures. Oh. We'll be praying for you, Nathan. I hope things come together for you. Then there's groundwater, again, which is beneath the Earth's surface in our aquifers. It's between bedrock and sand and all of the other kind of things that are down there. Again, wastewater, we've talked about that, gray water and black water. Then stormwater is the runoff when we get rain, snow, things melt in the spring, all that kind of stuff. So, but you have to be really, really careful using any stormwater, any runoff in that way, because if you're trying to collect it when it's coming off of fields and all that kind of stuff, it's gonna end up containing a whole bunch of pollutants. Just there's fertilizers, even things on cement and concrete and asphalt and stuff. You've got engine oils, radiator fluid, all this other kind of stuff. You think of in a city the storm drains and everything, and there's tons of water that goes in there. So it rains, you're going, oh, look at all that water that's just heading down to wherever it goes, to the river or something like that. It's just that there's going to be a whole lot of contaminants in there, and don't really deal with that. So we have salt water again, and then ice cap, water resources, anything that's up there. We've talked about that before. Now for drinking, you can use spring or glacier water. Yep, exactly, drops. Yep. Spring or glacier water are types of bottled waters that are claimed to be bottled at the source from where the water flows, either from the spring or a glacier. So they should be clean and relatively free of toxins. You'd still want to use some, if you can, if you're up in the North Woods or something like that, or, in the mountains or something, you get the spring water. Make sure that you've got either like a, a mug type of thing that can have a filtration system in it, or even one of those straws that would have a filter that you could put in there. There's tons of different things that you can find online to be able to do that. So a leftover beer you pour it out in the drain will not hurt. Exactly. So, and then there's mineral water pulled from a mineral spring, and it's full of all kinds of minerals like sulfur, magnesium, calcium, all things that are good for you. However, it's also many of the minerals from this type of water can also be obtained from a healthy, varied diet. So you don't necessarily have to have mineral water. But I'm kind of thinking of, things that you can look for and everything when, let's say, all of a sudden the city water dries up or your well dries up or something. It's like, what are the sources? Where can you find things, right? And so that's kind of what we're looking at. So, again, tap water, you want to be able to, there's a lot of things that can be in there. Usually they're pretty good, but they can also contain some pesticide residue, aluminum, again, fluoride, chlorine, different things like that can bother you. Now that there are a lot of home drinking water filtration systems. Dave, I think you have a really good one. Someone else here said they had put one in there too. I can't remember who it was. Soil water filtration system plus get a purity meter less than 50. Okay. Oh, that's so cool. Find it in the baby section. Interesting. I did not know that. So good point. Thanks, Drops. Get a purity meter. So there are some standalone filtration systems. You get Berkey, Alexa Pure, Dalton. Those are, there's a bunch more, but they have, a canister with a spigot, and then another one that sits on top of it that's got the filter cylinders in there, and then you pour the water in there and it filters through to the bottom, and then you've got fresh, clean water. There's those are really good. The one thing it does not filter out is any type of salt or anything. Actually, it will ruin your system. If you're using softened water from your house, it's got salt in it and everything, it'll ruin your filters. But then you can get some filters that are specific for removing the fluoride and chlorine and stuff like that. But otherwise, those create some really, really good options. If you have, let's say if you're on a lake or a pond or a stream is nearby, and you go and grab a bucket of that and pour it through, and you'll have safe drinking water in that way. We love you, Berkey. I know, I love it too. You can find it on Amazon. Okay. People use it to test the water they're putting in the baby formula. Wow, I had no idea. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Dave, yes, you do many layers of filtration for the whole house, then a reverse osmosis at the kitchen sink. So, yep, that was another thing is sink hookups. There's a whole bunch of things. You can either have it, on top of your sink near your faucet. There can be a whole unit. It can be underneath the sink that's hooked up so that every time you turn the faucet on, it automatically does it. They've got some that you can actually put like on the faucet itself, so that as it's going through, it's going to filter out different things. There's Aquasana, Pure Blue, Rhino are just a few of the full water system hookups that he actually, like Dave has, that he puts it, and he actually did a video on it too, so that was really, really cool. Reverse osmosis to your ice maker too. Nice. Okay. For your city supply, that's very cool. Very, very cool. Used to have a water softener in Florida. Had to get the dog's water. I'll just stop this thing. That's interesting that you needed one in Florida. When I lived in Louisiana, we did not need one because we were so close to sea level that the water was already naturally softened. So didn't need to do that. But there's also for drinking, there's like pitchers that you can put in the refrigerator that are like 1 gallon or something. Just put water in there, either from the tap or whatever, and it'll filter right through. I think they're like Brita or something like that, and there's a bunch of different ones. And then also filters for your refrigerator spout system, different things like that. So you're on a huge aquifer, great water. That's so great, Kiri. Never used a water softener, Nathan. So that's up here our water is so hard we have to. I do know people who don't, but for me here there's such high iron in my water that I also have to. It's not just for the hardness, but I have to filter out a lot of the iron. So anyway, so class, what are the 3 colors of water that you can have access to? Just type it in. And then what's another name for the water that is drinkable? So see how well you guys retain and catch on. Smart Alec. Oh. Can you be a teacher's pet? You probably already are, because you told us about the baby water thingy. People. There you go, Dave. Thank you. Oh, no black water, brown water. You good at that? Actually, the brown water is gray water, so we don't want it. No homemade cookies. Oh, you talking about me? I'll take some home baked cookies. You have to mail them up. Gray, black, white, and photo. Thank you, Nathan. So you came in late and he's still new. Oh, so you guys, I put a whole bunch of links down below in the description. And so, afterwards, if you need to go back and check, like using laundry water in your garden, reclaiming gray water, trying to figure out what you want to do. When you collect water, like I do through my downspouts from my gutters in a bucket, I want to make sure that I dump it within a day or something, use it. Otherwise, again, bugs can get in there, all kinds of other dirt, and then it turns into black water. So, carpenter and military ties something. Oh, that's great. So, okay. For those of you, who are here, I just want to thank you, moderators, for all that you do. I really, really appreciate you guys. It's so super to have you coming on every week and having my back and providing help. So, and welcoming everybody. I really appreciate that so much. My garden tip for tonight is if your plants are dying off, like they're coming to the end of their production and stuff like that, harvest the last of the produce and pull them, amend the soil, and replant for fall, or green manure or winter, fall or winter, or put green manure in there. So just don't leave the dead plants in your garden. They can spread diseases unless you're taking a few of them and saving them for seed. But even when you have a night or something like that, because then that affects your seed for next year. So you want to do that. Your well water is drinkable, but leaves undrinkable. Yes. To plant the garden over the spot where it's where my grass is always the greenest. That's for sure. Nope, Julie, you're gonna have to have a talk with somebody about that one too. So, oh, that's good, Nathan. That's really the best. Thanks. Don't make it. Am I supposed to? No, that's okay. So anyway, yeah, just don't leave the dead stuff in your garden like that. Then my prep tip is evaluate your water situation. Could you be self-sustainable for a number of days or weeks if all of a sudden you didn't have electricity, or you didn't have, if you have a well, if your well went out, or if the city water, let's just say the water tower fell over or something like that, whatever it is. So would you be able to have access to water? So, no drops. You do not. No, you're totally fine. I'm not on your case at all. No, you're good. You're all good. Try to drink more water, but you love your coffee. I hear you. 1.5 acres of pond. Good. Okay, there you go. So if you have access to something, even if it's, 1/4 mile away or something, if there's a pond, or if there's, a river or stream or something that you can go and fill up a few 5-gallon buckets, bring it home, put it through a filtering system, and then you can have some drinking water. You want to be very careful in using a pond water, though, without filtering it, for washing, even washing your hair, taking a bath or something, because especially around here, we've got lots of farm field. And so there's a lot of chemicals on those, and the watershed goes right into those ponds. So I wouldn't want to be washing with all of that. So, just the worst. And the water companies stand by those thousands. Okay, you guys are great. But yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. Think about that, what you could do. And sounds like a lot of you have that already thought process going on. And you're doing great. You guys are so good. So, and we are at the end of our hour already. We really are. So, yep, Nathan, we talked about that earlier. So, yeah, that's one of the things that could be done there. So, your mom just hid in the janitor closet. She has. No, you guys are all good. Holy cow. Okay. Well, yes, you're a prepper for real. You are, Drops. So, and again, check out that baby water filtration meter thingy to see if your water is drinkable and if everything's good. So it sure beats having to have a water company come out and test it. And I mean, that could be a couple $100 to do that. So class is out, the bell rang. It is, absolutely. So you guys take care. Have a great week, okay? We are going to be cooling down and supposedly getting some rain. So hope everything goes well with you guys. Take care. God bless. Always have hope. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.